Good afternoon, this is Dan Haugh, PTI Securities Futures with your daily wrap-up. Today the market did close down, but earlier in the day we were down before the opening. Upon the opening we moved up. We're at our high of the day when the Fed started making their announcements, and then we sold off after the news conference. The news conference didn't go too well today. The statements were relatively as expected. Their forecast was lowered as expected, so none of that was a surprise. But the news conference, it was obvious that Bernanke was a little bit on the defensive. They don't have a plan going forward. They're going to wait and see. So for the people that actually benefited by the rise in asset prices, like if you happen to be along the stock market, the fact that that's stopping is going to be a negative for you. And after this, the press conference was completed, the market sold off and actually made its lows on the day. Consequently, the market closed on a very, very negative note. The industrials were down 80, the S&P was down a little bit over 8. We're getting a little bit closer to the 200-day moving averages that we pulled away from yesterday. Earnings news today was pretty good though. Actually, CarMax came in pretty, a little bit better than expected, which is kind of a mixed bag because that's used cars, and since no one's buying used cars, their inventory went up. But FedEx actually had an upbeat assessment of the next couple of quarters. Didn't last long. The Fed actually trumped that news during the course of the day. I expect a little negative on the opening tomorrow, simply because there is no real fundamental news other than the weekly jobless claims, and we did close on a very negative note today. This has been Dan Haugh, PTI Securities Futures.